Alright y'all, buckle up, because the oil fields of West Texas are about to erupt again. Landman Season 2 Episode 1 just had its trailer leaked, and trust me, this one is going to flip everything we thought we knew on its head. From Monty's shocking funeral to cartel showdowns, new power players, and even Sam Elliott making his debut, this season is starting with fire. Today on Sugar Bee, I'm breaking it all down, the leaks, the theories, and exactly how Episode 1 is setting the stage for the craziest season yet of Landman. Let's get into it. At the end of the first season, we lost Monty in that hospital bed, and his death affected not only his family but everyone around him. Cammy was breaking down, but you could already tell the weight of leadership was on her shoulders. Then there's Cooper, caught between grief and the pressure of stepping into a world he isn't ready for. And of course, Anansley, who had to watch her family fall apart while the business that funded it all slipped through their hands. The center of it all is Tommy, entangled more deeply with Galeno and the cartel than anyone should be comfortable with. I expect Episode 1 to open with Monty's funeral, and that's where we'll start to see how these pieces fall. We'll see Cammy stepping forward, Tommy trying to hold his ground, maybe even both of them forced into an uneasy alliance. And that's the foundation this season is laying. Either way, this first episode is about to be one messy start. While I'm excited to see Demi Moore having a bigger role in the show, I can't help but wonder how Monty's death will affect the business. Will we have a replacement for him? Or will Cammy and Tommy work their asses off to fill his shoes? So, let's move on to the biggest new addition in Season 2, because that might answer our questions. Sam Elliott is joining Landman as a series regular, and that opens the door to a lot of possibilities. His role hasn't been revealed yet, but with someone like Sam, we know it's not going to be small. He could show up as a heavyweight in the oil business, the kind of man who can make or break deals, or he might be tied to the cartel in a way that shakes everything up. What matters for Episode 1 is when he enters the story. Do we see him right from the start, stepping in after Monty is gone? Or do they save him for later, building tension until the moment he arrives? Personally, I think we'll see him in Episode 1. And I know for a fact that if he's on Tommy's side, then Tommy will be just fine. But if he appears as the villain, then I'm sorry, he probably won't even have a chance. As a fan of Sam Elliott, I'll probably side with him no matter what. Sorry, Tommy. Now, I know you're excited to see the trailer. When we talk about predictions, Episode 1 almost writes its own trailer. Just like the episode itself, the Season 2 trailer may open with Monty's funeral. Imagine the camera lingering on Cammy stepping into that front row seat. That's where the tension starts, because from that moment on, every eye is on her. Then there's Tommy, and you know the cartel isn't giving him a break. We might see quick cuts of him making promises he doesn't want to keep or taking meetings that feel one wrong step away from turning violent. And of course, Cooper. We might see him trying to stand on his own, maybe with drilling plans that put him in way over his head. If Sam Elliott shows up, even for just a second, that would be the kind of reveal that gets everybody talking. One look at him and you know. Season 2 will be different. That's the kind of energy Episode 1 could bring. And that's exactly the vibe a trailer would sell. Season 1 of Landman closed with one of the most heartbreaking and defining moments of the entire series, Monty's flatline in the hospital. For fans, this wasn't just the death of a character, it was the shattering of the family's foundation. Monty represented more than just the head of the household, he was the glue holding the family together, the man who navigated the stormy world of oil deals and cartel threats with equal grit. His death means Season 2 begins not with triumph or continuation, but with loss, grief, and the uncertainty of what comes next. According to the leaked Episode 1 trailer, the season opens with Monty's funeral. This choice is powerful because it forces both the audience and the characters to confront the fallout immediately. The funeral is shot as a centerpiece moment, somber, slow, and heavy with emotion. We see Cammy stepping into the front row, her face lined with grief but also carrying the unmistakable shadow of responsibility. She's not just burying her husband, she's stepping into a role she never asked for but can't ignore. The trailer lingers on her as if to say, this is her story now. The ripple effect of Monty's death is felt everywhere. Cooper, Monty's son, is perhaps hit the hardest. Still young and inexperienced, Cooper is suddenly staring at a future where people expect him to step up into his father's world. But the leaked scenes make it clear he's nowhere near ready. We catch glimpses of him lost in the crowd, struggling to find his place, unsure whether he should stand beside Cammy as a leader or simply grieve as a son. This conflict between duty and mourning sets up one of the most compelling arcs for episode 1. Can Cooper grow fast enough to meet the expectations suddenly thrust on him? Or will his inexperience make him a liability in the family's fragile future? And then there's Tommy. If Monty's death leaves Cammy with the burden of leadership, and Cooper with the weight of legacy, it leaves Tommy in a far darker place. The funeral is a reminder to him that death is never far away, especially when you're entangled with men like Galeno and the cartel. The leaked trailer shows Tommy on the sidelines, his face tense and unreadable, as though he's already calculating his next move. For Tommy, Monty's death is not just personal, it's practical. He knows the family has lost its strongest shield, and now he must decide whether to fill that role himself or let others take control. That Monty's death also symbolizes the beginning of a power vacuum in the oil business itself. With Monty gone, rival players see weakness, and vultures circle. The funeral isn't just a family affair, it's a stage where business partners, rivals, and enemies all gather, watching carefully to see who rises and who falters. In this way, Episode 1 doesn't treat Monty's death as an ending, but as the spark that ignites a new era of power struggles. The fallout is clear: Monty's absence leaves everyone unmoored. Cammy is forced to confront leadership she never wanted, Cooper is left trying to balance grief with impossible expectations, and Tommy stands at a crossroads between family loyalty and survival in a cartel-controlled world. Episode 1 uses Monty's funeral not only to honor him but to remind us that his death is the storm that will define everything that follows. The funeral may begin as a moment of mourning, but for Cammy, it quickly transforms into something far more dangerous, a public test of her strength. The leaked trailer makes it clear that while she is devastated by Monty's death, the people around her are already shifting their focus from grief to power. Oil executives, family allies, and even longtime rivals are watching her every move. Not out of sympathy, but out of calculation. They want to see if she has what it takes to carry Monty's legacy forward, or if she's about to crumble under the weight of it all. Cammy's arc in Episode 1 is set up as one of the most transformative in the series so far. She begins as the grieving widow, overwhelmed by loss, but every frame of the leaked footage suggests that this tragedy is also forging her into something harder and more resolute. The camera often lingers on her face, capturing the tension between sorrow and resolve, almost as though the audience is witnessing the exact moment she begins to accept her new role. From what we know, Cammy will have to navigate more than just her family's grief. She's stepping into Monty's empire, and that means entering a world dominated by men who see her as untested and vulnerable. The leaked trailer hints at scenes where she sits across from oil board members, her voice steady but her expression betraying the pressure of the moment. These aren't just business meetings, they're power plays, with every executive waiting to see if she will falter. Some want her to succeed, but many more are circling like predators, ready to exploit any sign of weakness. What makes Cammy's story so compelling in Episode 1 is the subtle way she begins asserting herself. The trailer shows her leaning into whispered conversations at the funeral reception, the kind where real deals are made. She isn't speaking much, but when she does, her words land with precision. There's a shift in her posture, too, a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. She's learning quickly that power in West Texas doesn't come from raw emotion, but from appearances, alliances, and the ability to make people believe you're in control even when you're not. Still, the question remains, can Cammy really step into Monty's shoes, or is she destined to be crushed under the expectations of the empire he left behind? The trailer teases both possibilities. On one hand, we see her holding her own in a tense boardroom standoff, her expression sharp and determined. On the other hand, there are flashes of her breaking down in private, the enormity of her new role threatening to overwhelm her. This duality, public strength versus private vulnerability, sets up one of the richest character arcs in Landman Season 2. Ultimately, Episode 1 positions Cammy as the character to watch. She's no longer just Monty's wife, she's becoming the face of the family's oil empire. Whether she rises to that challenge or is broken by it will shape not only her storyline, but the entire direction of the season. Monty's death may have left a void, but Cammy's first steps into power suggest that she might be ready to fill it in ways no one expected, while Cammy is busy navigating the politics of the oil business. Tommy's world is spiraling in a much darker direction. If Cammy's struggle is about boardrooms and appearances, Tommy's is about survival. The leaked episode 1 trailer paints a vivid picture of a man caught in a web he can't escape, a man whose every move is dictated not by ambition, but by fear of the cartel. The flashes we see are chilling. Tommy sits across from cartel representatives, his eyes hard but his jaw tight with anxiety. He makes promises in a low, controlled voice, the kind of words you know he doesn't believe he can actually deliver on. These aren't business negotiations. They're ultimatums disguised as conversations. Every handshake, every nod, every moment of silence carries the threat of violence behind it. The trailer makes it clear, the cartel has their hooks in Tommy, and they aren't letting go. What makes Tommy's story so tense is the way Landman uses subtle details to show just how deep his entanglement with Galino has become. The quick cuts in the trailer tell a story all on their own, doors slammed shut in his face, whispered threats that cut sharper than knives, and tense standoffs in dimly lit rooms where the cartel holds all the power. There's even a shot of Tommy alone in his truck, gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turn white, a silent moment that says everything about the pressure crushing down on him, and this is where Tommy becomes the season's wild card. The cartel doesn't care about Monty's funeral, Cammy's leadership, or Cooper's struggles, they care about money, control, and loyalty. With Monty gone, Tommy is suddenly the one they lean on, and that gives him an impossible choice. Does he betray his family to stay alive, handing over influence and deals to Galino's men? Or does he stand his ground, risking not just his own life, but the safety of everyone connected to him? The leaked footage teases both possibilities. We see him standing close to Cammy at the funeral, whispering something into her ear. Was it a warning, or a promise he can't keep? We see him walking into what looks like a cartel-run warehouse, shoulders tense, as if stepping into enemy territory he knows too well. And we see flashes of his temper, shoving a chair, yelling in frustration, his mask of calm finally cracking under the weight of it all. Tommy's arc in episode 1 is shaping up to be one of the most dangerous. He isn't just fighting the cartel. He's fighting himself. Deep down, he wants to protect the family and keep Monty's legacy intact, but every step he takes seems to pull him further into Galino's world. He knows that one wrong move could collapse the family business, or worse, put them all in the cartel's crosshairs. That's why episode 1 positions Tommy as the most unpredictable character of the season. He's not Cammy, who is stepping into power with determination, or Cooper, who is fumbling through his grief. He's the man playing a deadly game where every decision carries life or death consequences. And the biggest question hanging over his story is this: will he turn on the people he loves to save himself, or will he fight back, knowing it could destroy him? In the shadow of Monty's death, one character who can't escape the spotlight is his son, Cooper. For viewers, Cooper has always been a bit of an enigma, a young man caught between wanting to live up to his father's expectations and struggling with the reality that he's not ready for the brutal world of oil, money, and power. Episode 1 of Season 2, based on the leaked trailer, places him squarely at a crossroads. Grief is pulling him down, but pride is pushing him forward, and the results could be disastrous. The trailer gives us a glimpse of Cooper standing apart from the crowd at Monty's funeral. While Cammy shoulders leadership and Tommy wrestles with cartel pressure, Cooper looks lost. His grief is written across his face, but beneath it, there's a spark, a stubborn need to prove that he belongs at the table his father once commanded. That's where his arc begins, as a young man determined to carry Monty's legacy but without the tools, wisdom, or allies to succeed. According to the leaked footage, Cooper dives headfirst into drilling plans that are way beyond his skill level. He's seen speaking passionately about a new project, his voice full of conviction, but the experienced oilmen in the room exchange knowing glances, almost amused at his naivety. For Cooper, this is a trial by fire. He doesn't just want to be Monty's son, he wants to be Monty's heir. But in trying to prove himself too quickly, he's setting himself up for failure. One of the most telling moments in the trailer shows Cooper looking over maps and drilling charts late at night. His desk cluttered with papers. He's exhausted but relentless, a young man trying to master a game that takes decades to learn. This determination is admirable, but it also highlights his greatest weakness. He doesn't yet know when to step back, when to ask for help, or when to recognize that ambition without experience can destroy everything. Episode 1 seems to be positioning Cooper as the season's most unpredictable character. He's not hardened like Tommy, nor steady like Cammy. He's a wild card, not because of crime or corruption, but because of youth and inexperience. That makes him vulnerable to manipulation. Will rivals exploit him? Will the cartel see him as easy prey? The leaked scenes suggest that others are already circling, waiting to take advantage of his eagerness to prove himself, but beneath the risk, there's opportunity. Cooper's storyline has the potential to show a genuine coming-of-age journey. If he can survive his mistakes, learn from his failures, and grow into his role, he could emerge as a surprising leader, one capable of balancing Monty's legacy with his own vision. If not, he could be crushed by the very world he's desperate to conquer. That's why Cooper's arc in episode 1 is so compelling. He represents the future of the family, but the future is fragile. The oil fields of West Texas aren't kind to dreamers, and the trailer makes it clear that Cooper will either rise to the challenge or fall hard in the attempt. His struggle is personal, emotional, and deeply tied to the fate of everyone around him, making him one of the most important pieces in the Landman Season 2 puzzle. When fans first heard the news that Sam Elliott was joining Landman Season 2, expectations skyrocketed. After all, Sam isn't just another actor, he's an icon of Western storytelling, a face and voice instantly associated with grit, authority, and the unforgiving landscapes of the American frontier. The leaked episode 1 trailer doesn't waste a moment in capitalizing on that legacy. Just a few seconds of his appearance was enough to ignite conversations across fan forums and social media, proving that his arrival is the true game changer. For this season, the trailer doesn't give us much, just a glimpse of Elliott's character, standing tall, his silver hair catching the Texas sun, and his eyes narrowed with the kind of wisdom and menace only he can deliver. But that's all it takes. His presence alone signals that the balance of power in West Texas is about to shift in a major way. The questions swirling now are less about if he will change the story and more about how. One possibility, and perhaps the most obvious, is that Sam Elliott's character steps into the void left by Monty's death. With Monty gone, the family's empire is fragile, its enemies circling, and its allies uncertain. Elliott could emerge as a powerful oil magnate, someone who's been waiting in the wings for the right opportunity to assert control. If this is the case, then his arrival in episode 1 is not just dramatic, it's strategic, setting him up as the new titan of the industry, a man capable of making or breaking fortunes with a single deal. But the trailer also leaves open a darker possibility. What if Elliott is not here to stabilize, but to destabilize? His character could easily be tied to Galeno and the cartel, operating as an enforcer or a shadowy partner whose influence runs deeper than anyone suspected. Imagine Tommy already drowning in cartel pressure, only to realize that the new figure in town is one of their most dangerous players. Elliott's character could serve as the ultimate reminder that the cartel isn't just a threat in the shadows, it's a force that can walk into any room, shake your hand, and own you with a smile. And then there's a third possibility, one that feels especially fitting for Sam Elliott's gravitas. Perhaps he plays a Texas legend, a figure whose very name commands respect. He might not be tied directly to Monty's empire or the cartel, but his influence could still tip the scales. In a story about oil, land, and power, having a character who embodies the history and myth of Texas itself would add a layer of depth and unpredictability. Regardless of which role he takes, episode 1 makes it clear that Sam Elliott is no side character. His debut is treated as a turning point, the moment where the audience realizes that Landman isn't just continuing the story, it's raising the stakes. The leaked trailer ends his brief scene with a close-up that lingers just long enough to leave fans buzzing, theorizing, and desperate for answers. In short, Sam Elliott's arrival is the big reveal of episode 1, the kind of casting twist that can redefine a season. Whether he's a friend, foe, or something more complicated, one thing is certain: the moment he steps on screen, Landman will never be the same again. If there's one thing the leaked trailer makes clear, it's that Landman Season 2 isn't slowing down for anyone. The tone hits like a Texas dust storm, grief swirling at Monty's funeral, cartel threats crackling like distant thunder, Cammy trying to anchor herself in a world that's suddenly much bigger and more dangerous, and Sam Elliott's ominous arrival looming like the storm's eye. It's fast, raw, and unapologetic. Paramount Plus seems to be doubling down on the gritty realism and high-stakes drama that defined Season 1, but now they're cranking everything up to 11 up the pacing of the trailer is especially telling. It moves quickly from scene to scene, giving fans flashes of storylines without ever revealing too much. We see Monty's funeral drenched in shadows, where grief is overshadowed by power plays. From there, quick cuts throw us into cartel meetings, where Tommy looks cornered, his body language screaming desperation as Galino's men close in. Cammy appears next, staring down a boardroom full of executives, her grief giving way to grit. Then, in a rapid montage, Cooper is shown knee-deep in drilling plans he clearly doesn't fully understand. And just when viewers think the trailer has given away all its cards, Sam Elliott steps into frame, his very presence leaving an air of inevitability that something bigger, darker, and far more dangerous is about to change the game. The way Paramount Plus edited this trailer suggests they're building the season around tension and transformation. Every major character is at a crossroads, and episode 1 sets that tone perfectly. This isn't about clean victories or easy choices, it's about survival, betrayal, and redefining legacies. The color palette even mirrors this shift. Shots are drenched in warm, dusty golds, punctuated by dark shadows, symbolizing both the wealth of the oil industry and the corruption festering beneath it. The visual storytelling is as much a warning as it is a promise, nobody walks away unscathed. This season. What's also clever about this trailer is how it teases chaos without revealing too much about the bigger conflicts ahead. Paramount Plus knows fans are hungry for leaks and theories, so they give us just enough fuel to keep conversations going. The cartel threat, Cammy's rise, Cooper's inexperience, and Elliott's mysterious debut are all clearly set up as threads that will tangle and clash in explosive ways. But the trailer wisely avoids spelling out how these arcs will collide, leaving that tension to simmer until premiere night. And speaking of premiere night, November 16, 2025, is already circled in bold on fans' calendars. Paramount Plus has locked that date and begun the hype train early, leveraging this leak as a kind of unofficial teaser. Whether it was intentional or not, the buzz from the leaked footage has already done half the marketing for them. Social media is ablaze, with fans dissecting every frame, every line of dialogue, and especially every second of Sam Elliott's introduction. Ultimately, this trailer makes one thing crystal clear: Landman Season 2 isn't just about surviving the oil fields. It's about exposing who really controls them, and at what cost. Episode 1 is positioned as the foundation for a season that will be bigger, bloodier, and bolder than anything we've seen before. The storm is coming, and Paramount Plus wants us to feel every gust of wind before it finally hits on November 16th. And there you have it, Episode 1 of Landman Season 2 is shaping up to be a storm of power, betrayal, and legacy. From Cammy stepping into Monty's shoes, to Tommy's dangerous cartel entanglement, to Cooper's risky push for leadership, and of course, Sam Elliott's game-changing arrival, this season is already promising to be bigger, bolder, and more explosive than the last. But the real question is, who will rise, and who will fall when the dust settles in Texas? I want to hear from you. What do you think Sam Elliott's role will be? Is he an ally, an enemy, or something in between? Drop your theories down below, because you know Sugar Bee loves reading your takes. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your fellow Landman fans, and of course, subscribe to Sugar Bee so you never miss the latest trailers, breakdowns, and first looks. November 16th can't get here fast enough, and we'll be covering every twist along the way. Until next time, this is Sugar Bee, signing off. Stay buzzing, and stay ready, because Texas is about to change everything.